Isaiah 53. Who would have believed this? Who could have understood what was happening? The power of the Lord was at work, yet to human eyes it looked like weakness. He came like a small shoot, pushing through dry, lifeless ground. Unexpected, unimpressive. No beauty to catch our gaze, no majesty to demand our attention. And so we ignored him, passed him by, looked the other way, despised, rejected. A man of suffering, acquainted with the kind of pain that lingers, the kind that weighs on the soul. Not a fleeting sadness, but sorrow deep enough to drown in. And we turned our faces from him. He was nothing to us. We dismissed him as cursed, as stricken by God. But oh, how blind we were. It was our suffering he carried, our grief that bowed his back, our punishment that fell upon him. We thought he was afflicted by God, when all along he was being pierced for us. The blows, the lashes, the wounds, each one should have been ours. But by his wounds we are healed. And still we went our own way, wandering like lost sheep, stumbling in the darkness, convinced we knew where we were going. We turned from him again and again, and yet he bore it all. The Lord laid upon him every sin, every failure, every weight that we could never carry. Oppressed, afflicted, and yet silent. Not a cry of protest, not a plea for mercy. As the crowds roared, as the accusations flew, he stood there. Like a lamb led to the slaughter, like a sheep silent before the shearers. He could have spoken a word and stopped it all. He could have summoned angels to his defense, but he did not. He chose the suffering. He chose us, dragged away by wicked men, cut off from the land of the living. Who understood, who saw what was truly happening? He was condemned for the very ones who condemned him. Buried among criminals, though he had done no wrong. Laid in a borrowed grave, though deceit had never touched his lips. And yet, it was the will of the Lord to crush him. Not out of cruelty, not out of wrath, but because love demanded it, justice required it, redemption could come no other way. His life was offered up, willingly, as a sacrifice for sin. He was emptied, poured out like an offering. He held nothing back. But death would not be the end of his story. No, he would see the reward of his suffering. He would look upon those he had saved, those who had spat at him, those who had mocked him, those who had turned their backs. And he would be satisfied. He would rise. And through him, many would be made righteous. Not by their own doing, not by their own strength, but by the one who bore their iniquities. So the Lord gave him a portion among the great, exalted him, lifted him up. He took his place, not as a broken, defeated man, but as a victorious king. He had poured out his life unto death, numbered among the sinners, yet sin had no hold on him. He carried the sins of many, and even as they struck him, even as they cursed his name, he prayed for them. He interceded for the very ones who nailed him to the tree. For them. For us. And now, look. See. Behold the man we once rejected. Behold the one we once despised. It was for us he was crushed. For us he was wounded.